Hello, my name is Deena Younan, and my presentation is called The Fine Print of Life. Yes, it works. Okay. So, you can tell a lot about a person from what they do when they are bored. For example, some of my friends like to play video games. My other friends go on their phone and their social media websites. And I like to read fine print. Whenever I'm bored, I take whatever household object is next to me, pick it up, turn it around, and start reading what's on the back. No one in my family knows why I do this or who I got it from. It's just something that I do for fun. There's so much useful information that you can read on the back of a bottle of Windex or any other type of cleaner, but the most fun is when you get to the warning label section. For example, did you know that most beauty products have shark liver oil inside of them? What they do is they hide this by calling it squalene, something weird like that, squalene, I think, and they put it in the inactive ingredients on the back of the fine print. So reading fine print not only gives me interesting information when I'm bored, I just find it kind of fun. A lot of people don't understand this weird obsession with mine. They think that it's pretty useless. I mean, who really cares what your shampoo is made out of or where your cereal was produced? But to me, I think that people find the fine print unimportant because of how small it really is. I know this seems obvious, fine print is always small, but if you think about it, we as a society often equate importance with how big or small something is. Let's take a look at this. Marketing agencies use this all the time. They realize how we find that things that are bigger are more important. So this, if you can see, in about like size 3000 font, it says, beats anyone price or it's free. So we think that it's absolute truth. But if you look down where it has much, much smaller font, you can see that they say that we exclude anything that is on the internet, telephone sales are not usable, and it says you can't use anything of the Serta, iSeries, Tempur-Pedic, or any of these other really useful or really important brand mattresses. So really, they're making us trying to believe something that we can never actually obtain, because all of these mattresses are pretty much what they sell. So what does all of this mean about me? Clearly, I like to know all the details. I like to know what things are really made out of, where they come from, and I only really feel safe when I know everything that there is to know. A lot of jobs and a lot of careers use skills like these, but the job that I'm interested in is in the field of law. I've wanted to become a lawyer ever since I was a little girl, but that was mostly because my mom said that I couldn't be an ice skating teacher. It wasn't really until high school that I understood what it was like to be a lawyer, or whether or not I could actually do it. Being a lawyer is very difficult, not just because of the complexity of the law itself, but because of the demanding lifestyle that it requires from lawyers. The glamorous and exciting lives that we see on the series on TV, such as Suits or Law and Order, is simply not true. Most lawyers think that their job is boring and repetitive. On this slide over here, you'll see that in a study in 2011, only 55% of law graduate students actually are practicing lawyers. This seems like a really small number, right? Because these people all spent 3 years of their lives and about $200,000 on their education. And it turned out that they didn't even go into law. They're either unemployed, unknown, or some type of professional law, non-legal jobs, whatever that means. Also, in another study, it turns out that 7 out of 10 attorneys in California would change their career if the opportunity arose. So now you're probably thinking, law is a pretty bad career, right? You have so much money, but there's so much stress, there's so much things that you have to do, there's a lot of repetition, and you really don't have time for your friends or your family, and there's so many other sacrifices that come from you physically and mentally as well. However, I think that being a lawyer would be an amazing job. And I know that I can do it and that I'd enjoy doing it because of the various experiences I've had here at Whitney High School. When I first came, I joined our Model United Nations program, MUN, because I wanted to learn the skills that I could probably use later on in law school and when I was going to be an attorney. So in MUN, what we have to do is we have to learn how to research really, really well, because that's half of our grade when we go to a conference. And we also have to learn how to network and communicate well in front of a large group of people. So all these skills obviously helped me get to where I was today, and they'll help me get into law school and later on become a lawyer. However, the most important thing that I did here at Whitney was join our mock trial program. So in mock trial, what we do is every year we have a competition in November where we actually go to a real courthouse. Here is in the LA Superior Court, down, I believe, on Figueroa. And what we do is we have to split our team into a defense and prosecution team. So we have to become our own lawyers, our witnesses. We have to make scripts, questions, and learn everything there is to do about putting on a trial. It's a really unique experience because we get to work with lawyers and judges from our communities, and we high school students get to learn the laws, the objections, and even the strategies that lawyers use every day in court. So now my friends that have been with me since 10th grade, that's my team, that's some of them. Most of them love mock trial. We spend countless hours practicing all the time. During competition season, we stay until 5 o'clock every day. We meet on weekends, and this goes on for about a month and a half. So we all love it to death, or else we wouldn't be doing it. But almost all of them realized that they could never actually be an attorney. Here are some more pictures of us in court. They knew that it was really fun to do it, but they just couldn't see themselves doing this for every day for the rest of their lives. However, for me, mock trial only solidified my desire to be an attorney. It taught me how fun the law could be. It taught me how much of a joy I get when I find loopholes and when I find ways to get around certain laws and regulations. I'm a defense attorney, so that's all I really do, right? Try and break the law and never get caught with it. So I get such a kick out of that. But it also taught me that I can work well under high stress for long periods of time. It taught me that I can have the patience to deal with a team. So let me show you. So about half of those is our mock trial team. So it's a big group of people. And the rest of those are people that we bring from Whitney to go to the field trips that we take to the courthouses. I know, I'm like that little red arrow. You can barely see me. So it taught me that I have the patience to deal with a large group amount of people, and that I can work well as a team and also have the responsibility to do what I need to do by myself. I love mock trial because it taught me that I wanted to do something for the rest of my life. And it also taught my friends that they didn't want to do this, which is just as important as finding your own passion. When you think about the 45% of law students that didn't become lawyers, or the 7 out of 10 attorneys that are unhappy with their lives, that's probably because they didn't know what they were doing when they first became a law student. No one really tells you what it's like to be a lawyer or a doctor or a mechanic or anything. It is up to you to read the fine print of any career before you commit your life to it. For me, reading the fine print was going through these experiences, going through mock trial and doing internships and getting anything I can do to make sure that I can talk to lawyers and judges around me to get more information about being a lawyer. Same goes for any other type of profession. Read the fine print by pursuing internships, going to pre-med clubs, going to seminars, doing anything you can to really understand more about what you're doing. Ignorance is bliss is one of the worst possible advice that you could do when you're trying to deal with a major life decision. The way that you can ensure your bliss is making sure that you read the fine print of any contract that life presents to you. Thank you.